Welcome to the party, pal. This is Bada Bing, and today I'm looking at WE's MP5 gas blowback submachine gun. I'm a gun guy through and through. In fact, it's one of my favourite topics of conversation. I don't tend to have favourites as there are so many wonderful examples that I can't put my finger on one that would class as a favourite. That is until the conversation moves on to the MP5. I love them. Ever since I got into this thing of ours when I was a plucky little 13-year-old, my weapon of choice was an MP5, and now thanks to a friend of mine, I finally got my hands on the gas blowback version. So, let's talk MP5s. Yep, he got this one used on an internet forum and had it sent to me for this video. Sadly, it didn't come with a box, but instead you'll see it in my H&K rifle case, which pretty much elevates the HK fan feels similar to experiencing the quickening. First thing I noticed when picking it up was the weight. It's heavy, but not in a bad way. No, not like Systema's MP5. Not too light and not too heavy, the Goldilocks weight. Secondly, the build quality is phenomenal. It all feels solid and well put together, no creaking or flexing, it's all good. The polymer is made well and has an air of quality to its texture, identical to the material found on their G36s. Overall finish of the MP5 is rather nice. Its dark black receiver mimicking H&K's 9mm bullet holes, but as we see here, some parts are highlighted in more of a grey tone, like the flash hider and rear iron sight. The A3 stock is pretty smooth to retract, and out of all the slide stocks I've used over the years, this has far less wobble. From its fully closed position, the stock is spring assisted when you flick the catch, and you get 3 lengths of pull when extending. The base cap is mostly made of a single piece of metal with a plastic end plate to secure all the internal latches and fiddly bits. The selector switch isn't too bad. When coming off safe onto semi-auto and 3-round burst, it's fairly tactile with felt and audible selections. But sweeping onto fully automatic, it has no felt or heard indications, nothing like Maruzen's MP5K. That's the best selector switch I've ever used. If you've played around with one of those, you'll know what I'm talking about. The magazines are solid, but as you can guess, are heavy. They are available in 45 rounds and 30 round capacity. The ones I have here are the first gen open front magazines and have the exaggerated curve that can put some people off. Here I compare the curve to that of a traditional MP5 magazine shape. Less of a banana and more in keeping with the look. But don't worry though, as WE have answered our prayers and released a version 2 design which puts it right. I've often had issues with some make MP5s and inserting the magazine. The mag wells tend to be narrow and tight, a little awkward to manipulate under stress. On here it's no exception. It is a little finicky to get things going, but I've found depressing the magazine catch allows for easier insertion. The hop-up adjustment can be found under the foregrip and features a large wheel for calibration. The flash hider features a 14mm negative thread for all your suppressors and tracer units. The MP5 also comes with a QD Navy flash hider. The charging handle is a little loose and rattly, but not in a bad way. Charging the working parts is smooth, very smooth. It doesn't feel gritty or uneven, and the manual of arms is something one can never get bored of. I'm talking about the HK slab. The disassembly pins can be a little tough to get out. Maybe it'll get better over time. Taking the gun apart is quite therapeutic, and internals look fairly realistic. Stripping out the bolt carrier, you can now gaze into the upper receiver and see how much of the hop has been engaged. First, let's chrono it. Using .2s and propane, it scores roughly 330 to 350 FPS. Perhaps a little high, and could benefit from toning down for CQB purposes. But then I got this score.
Wow, check that out. 974 FPS. Wow, this thing is great!
The accuracy of this MP5 isn't too bad. Target at 20 meters away with .3 Devil blasters, I was able to get good hits on the paper and on the box itself, although not consistently in the same place. We'll get back to the accuracy and range later, but let's see what it's like to fire this puppy. I saw videos of this gas blowback and the rate of fire always seemed a little low. Again, something that may put off potential buyers. Getting to grips with it gave me a mixed experience depending on gas and ambient temperature. Indoors it generally torched off those rounds on burst or fully auto with a nice realistic rate of fire. Reloading from a cold magazine would result in a lower ROF but maintained a steady rhythm. Likewise outside, in a chilly environment, it often performed the same way. Putting aside these fluctuations in cyclic rate, the shooting experience is pleasing. You'll get a lovely sharp jolt in the hand, and on semi-auto it's really rather snappy. I like the trigger. It gives you a crisp break and pretty decent reset. This allows you to be really athletic with your shooting. Firing with the stock extended and putting the MP5 closer into you feels like you're dancing the tango with Al Pacino. So elegant, but at the same time he cradles, caresses and commands you. WE has given us two fun modes. 3-round burst is very enjoyable and does a good job to conserve ammo. It's a great feature to have, and firing off a couple of bursts is sure to make those rounds paying off your intended target. Now, this is where WE's MP5 impresses the hell out of me. On previous WE GBBRs I've used, firing full auto was only good when within close range, and the longer you hold the trigger down, the arc of BBs descends closer and closer until hitting ants at 10 meters away. This subgun sends a stream of auto-fire directly towards the horizon, exactly like AEG's. Here you may be able to see the rounds fly far beyond 40 meters and splashing through the fence at 50. Even when the gas began to deplete and the rate of fire slowed down, it remained firing true. Damn, this thing is good. I've never had any issues dumping magazines on fully auto or burst. This system allows you to burn off those mags in quick succession without running out of gas and petering out. Of course, temperature dependent. But from my time spent burning off propane, I can concur that it loves bursting. Returning to the accuracy, I found that at a certain range the BBs will begin to cone outward and splash all around the intended target. Firing at the mannequin here at 40 meters was a prime example of that. As I said, the further out you shoot, the more widespread the shot placements would be. Of course, this is the case with airsoft guns in general, but it is possible to employ various inner barrel and hop-up bucking upgrades to tighten those groups at range. I'll look at doing follow-up videos involving various upgrades to get the most out of the platform, but from what I've seen so far, all it needs is a little tweak with a hop-up and perhaps inner barrel too, and that's it. Apart from that, the buzz I've heard on the forums about these things have all been true. This rocks. Upon this release back in 2014, my concerns of this weapon system were of its low rate of fire and banana mags. Knowing now that the version 2 magazine is available with the correct geometry, my only complaint was regarding the cyclic rate, but after finally having hands-on experience with WE's Apache, I really didn't need to worry. In person, it's such a blast. WE used to be like a punchline to a joke, much like Skoda did way back when. It was only last year when I thought, why doesn't someone come along and make a decent gas blowback MP5? Well, someone has come along. Good job, WE. So I give this SMG a gold star, and I can see it being absolutely dynamite in CQB. It'll give you the confidence to be the first one in the room. You don't storm a room with the MP5, the MP5 storms a room, followed by you. Tune in next time when I'll be testing out the A+ Airsoft ramjet valve for this MP5, and also looking into hop-up and inner barrel upgrades. Thanks to my bro for providing this ace shooter, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, my friends. If you did, why not show the love by hitting that like? I know you want to. Also, if you haven't, why not hit the subscribe so you can keep up to date with my latest videos. If you got any questions, feel free to leave them down below, or visit my Facebook page, facebook.com/badabingpictures, and you can hit me up with a message on there. And until next time, take care, and I'll catch you in a bit.